you don't follow her on Facebook, she has one of the best Facebook feeds ever known to man. And it's pretty awesome.
I've calmed down a lot. I've calmed down a lot.
Okay. It's still good. Okay, so Marina, tell us how you were inspired to come up with these wonderful, amazing robes that are like made with so much love, I know, and created with so much love. And I know you're also creating them and ethically so that they're not fast fashion.
Yes. It really came about as necessity. I have chronic pain issues that have gotten significantly worse in the last like 10 years. And, when I have bad pain days and I'm just like on the couch and not able to go anywhere or do anything, I couldn't find a robe. And it just seemed like such a basic thing. When I was growing up, my aunt had like 6 or 7 robes that were like all different fabrics. And I was like, that's what adult people should have, right? And I just couldn't find one. Lane Bryant one year released a long black robe and I bought like 5 of them and they didn't last. I mean, all 5 of them, even changing them out all the time, it lasted for like a year and a half before they had holes and, all that kind of problem. So a friend of mine is a costume designer and I asked her to make me a robe just for me. And whenever my friends were coming over, they were always like, can I wear your robe? And I was like, it's my robe. And so finally I was just like, you know what? I don't know anything about fashion. Besides, I like to be comfortable. I'm not performative at all in my style. It's really about what feels good for me because I'm in so much pain all the time. So that's really how it came about. I just wanted something that was like a one-stop piece that fit really well, that was gorgeous fabric. And I thought to myself, if I was going to invest in one thing that was like really nice for myself, it wouldn't be a couture gown. I mean, where am I going to wear that? It's not going to be like a really gorgeous like trench coat or something like that. It's never that cold in LA. It would be a bathrobe. I would use that every day. And for that to be a higher quality would improve my daily quality of life. And so I thought probably other people feel similarly to me and I should make robes for those people. So as far as doing it ethically and sustainably, I mean, if it's going to have my name on it, I'm going to put effort into it. I want it to be something I can feel great about from top to bottom every single day. I knew that no matter what I did, I wasn't going to be able to make them cheap. So really, I can't exploit other people in the name of my own comfort. It's just not who I am as a person. And I knew that this was going to be a very personal project, because it meant so much to me and especially the amount of work I was putting into it. I was like, this is, I guess, what I'm doing with my life, So,
just real quick, just to go back a little bit, and if this is too personal, which I doubt, but do you have fibro? Is that what your pain is from?
I have endometriosis.
Oh.
I also have rheumatoid arthritis. So I get kind of a double whammy of chronic pain. Sometimes they're on top of each other. I also have migraines, pretty regularly. So sometimes it's all 3 at once. Sometimes it's just the arthritis and and you just never know. I also, in the last few years, have started getting chronic ear infections. And so I usually have 1 ear infection going at any given time.
Holy shit, woman. Wow.
Yeah. And I still smile.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, you're amazing. Wow. And I don't mean to digress away from the robes.
No, it's okay. Curious. No, it's important to talk about this stuff. I'm pretty open about it, but I'm vague about like, I'm disabled. I am. You never know what is currently fucking me up,
Yeah. And I think these robes would also be wonderful for other people that have disabilities, right? So because they are they're like super comfortable. Like there's little room even in, and I'm just like blown. My mind is blown that I have a robe that has room for me, even beyond my current hips,
I realized since I've started wearing robes all day, every day, how much regular clothing takes constant adjustment from me.
Yes.
I'm always fucking pulling up my tits and stuffing them back into the bra, and I'm pulling up the pants. When I used to wear hard pants, that's what I call anything that's not lounge pants. The zipper would always come down in the same spot in the front, no matter what I was doing, whether I was standing or sitting or bending or whatever, the zipper was always down. and no matter how stretchy they were. So it was constantly having to be aware that my clothing was not really fitting my body. Even if it fit my body, it was not really made for me to move in or sit down in, or, you know, drive my car without being able to reach. I mean, I had a jacket and I didn't realize that this with the jacket wasn't possible until I started driving my car and I couldn't steer, you know, and I had to like, you know, I couldn't reach forward because it didn't have this movement available to me.
Yours, it has so much power that it can unzip my pants for you.
Exactly.
My tummy just pushes it open.
So you know, it's a lot.
It's from Torrid where I can't touch. I'm stuck from Torrid.
Yeah. I mean, and this is something that people in smaller bodies never have to think about, you know, I just don't think that they get that. And as far as the sizing goes, Marcy touched on this earlier, and there's no like continuity between the brands as far as sizing goes. You know, that also has to do with how much stretch is there in the fabric, where is it fitted on the body? Is it an empire waist thing? Is it, you know, waistless? Is it, you know, it depends a lot on those kinds of things. So depends on how your body shape. There's also a lot more fluctuation in our sizes. Like somebody can be a size 28, be bottom heavy, or be a size 30 and be top heavy. And the same garment will fit them completely differently. I will say that robes are pretty easy to help fit everybody. Our fabrics have a little bit of stretch to them, just enough, you know, and it's been, I've sold over 1,000 garments now, and we have had one too small. One got sized up for being too small, and that person had proportionally speaking, larger arms for her size overall. And the arms, it wasn't uncomfortable for her. It was very wearable, but she would have been more comfortable one size up. So we did it. But I mean, in over 1,000 garments, having one too small in all that time we really did that. You know?
It helps too, because you have good descriptions and stuff of your sizing, so people know.
Yeah.
Because honestly, returns can put a person out of business. I know this. Returns are very expensive. Returns suck all the profit margin out of your bank account. So you got to be careful with returns.
The biggest issue has been people who are used to sizing up, you know, constantly sizing up. I know for myself, you know, when I was like a large 2X, small 3X, many years ago, I would have to order things that were 5 and 6X sometimes in brands just to find something that fit me properly, even though I wasn't that size. But just, you know, they weren't designed for our bodies. It's taking a smaller size and exponentially increasing it, and that's not the way that bodies hold weight. So so it feels good. It feels good to really get to like start from scratch and say, I'm doing this for me, and y'all are coming with me, you know?
Right. It must feel so good to get all the good feedback that you get, because I know people are really excited.
My God, every single day I get love letters, you know, people who are crying, people who are saying, I've never had anything like this. Every single day I get multiple messages, and also from people's partners who are like, I hit it out of the park getting them this robe, and I've never gotten it right before. And, you know, and that's been really powerful. And then also like, you know, the little extras that we do are just, you know, people feel cared for, and I love to do that.
So you have this ad campaign going on right now that I love, which is was it Be a Hero?
Stay the fuck home.
Stay the fuck at home. It's a pandemic, people.
Yeah, I came up with that you know, like the night before New Year's, and I was just like, I saw some people getting ready to go out and partying. I was like, you're a real fucking asshole. I'm sorry. You're a real asshole if you're like looking around at the numbers climbing and thinking, I can't wait to put on my glitter heels and go out and, you know, act like this isn't happening. The healthcare workers are exhausted. We're all exhausted. It's disregarding to, you know, other people. This thing is so I caught COVID a few weeks ago in the airport flying. And, you know, when I came back to New York, it took a few days to kick in. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I have it. After dreading it for such a long time, thank goodness I had 3 shots. So it was fairly mild. I had a migraine for 6 days.
Ugh,
That really cut into my Christmas spirit.
I bet.
I
Yeah.
couldn't taste anything. So
Oh, yeah.
that was kind of weird. Yeah. The only
Ashley's
thing I could taste
experiencing
was a
that
little
today.
salt.
She's got the no, she can't smell or taste anything today.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to just have a sense that's so important to my daily life to just suddenly, not be there. I was like chugging hot sauce from the bottle because I just wanted to feel alive.
Be careful. Be careful. Hot in, hot out.
Yes, that did not go numb.
My cousin was telling me, she would like, because she had it, and she had it really bad last year. She had Delta. She's like, when you put an orange in your mouth and you can see it's an orange and it looks like it should taste like an orange, then you put it in your mouth and it tastes like cardboard, even though it's juicy and plump and it's, sprays water or juice all over your mouth. She said, still tastes like cardboard. It's so weird. I'm like, oh, and then her teeth almost fell out from her Delta version.
I've heard that. That happens. For me, the eating something really spicy would just clear out my sinuses just a little bit,
Sure,
and just that and a tingle. It wasn't a spice; it was just a tingle,
yeah.
And that alone was just like, oh,
I'm alive.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but I made it through. I'm feeling much better.
Do you have any more things that are still on sale? I know you don't.
Yeah, our sale is still going on. $30 off all the robes is still going on until Sunday. What day is it? Saturday. Tomorrow at midnight. So yeah, that was just kind of, I know that a lot of people are strapped for cash right now. I totally get it. I also strapped for cash, so I get it. The holiday season was a little quiet for me. I was kind of surprised by that. And so, but I know that there was a lot of people who wanted them, but they just couldn't, afford $200 right now. It's an uncertain time. So I did what I could. I'm taking $30 off means I'm not making anything on those robes, but it means, I really didn't do this to make money. I did this to get access to people in my community to something. So, as long as I can afford to do the next collection, I'm good. My bills will survive.
Since we last spoke, I think you've added either like unisex robes or robes cut for male bodies. What else do you have going on?
Well, since the very beginning, I wanted gender neutral robes, but what I found when making gender neutral stuff for me, specifically, it made everyone look bad, because there are differences in the way that a body holds weight. And so I couldn't get it done by the first release. I tried it, I did fittings, it just looked square and bad on everybody. So I said, if I can't do it right, I'm not going to do it. And we worked on it, we came up with an entirely new design, which is the hoodie robe. And that's great for all genders. It looks fantastic. It looks great on everybody. And it's a little more casual, so it's not as fitted as like the Cush robe. And it's like a hoodie sweatshirt, and I've been stealing hoodies from dudes since I was like in middle school. So, it works.
Haven't we all? Hey, also everything Marcy makes has pockets. I have my pockets in here now. Keep my hands
pockets forever. Well, because it's an accessibility thing for me. As a disabled person, I can't be holding all this stuff, So having pockets is a safety issue for me, really.
Yeah, and the robe sash is super extra long, and I could tie it in a bow, and there's like mind blown. Right? I've never had that my whole life.
It's just little things like that you don't realize till you have it, that it was been done wrong your whole life.
I remember when I went away to college and I really wanted a robe because back and forth to the shower and stuff from your dorm room, and I was like, what am I going to do? And I was like 18, of course, and I had to go to the men's department at like Macy's and buy a men's robe. And I tried to buy one that was less masculine looking because that was important to me then for some reason. And just like it sucked. You could just tell it was a man's robe,
Yeah.
But that's otherwise I'm like Marcy, I don't like putting clothes on when I'm still damp. So I want a robe.
Yeah, it's degrading, it feels degrading when everyone else is wearing something and I don't have access to that something. And so I think it's, in some ways, it's made me who I am because I've always paved my own way, my own style, and my own comfort. And in some ways, in times where I really wanted to belong, it just was never going to happen for me. You know, I love the conversation you guys had earlier about the earrings. I have a massive earring collection.
I
I
do.
have so many
Huge.
earrings. Even when I travel, I bring a little bag that has like 20 pairs of earrings in it because I love earrings so much. And and that was because I would buy any kind of black stretchy thing that fit me and then just switch out the earrings for my own personal style. And that was my style for such a long time. My introduction into the fat community was at a Plus Bus event, where I met Marcy for the first time. And I'd never been to a Plus event in my life. I think
very powerful.
I didn't know what it existed. I think I was a little afraid of being fetishized at some kind of like Plus events, you know, and I was uncomfortable with that, which is weird because I specifically like fat people romantically myself. So I'm like, I don't want to be fetishized while I look at everybody else, you know? You know? So yeah, but I mean, I had avoided for a long time, but I went to a Plus Bus event and I was just blown away. The people were so stylish.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here in like a tunic from Amazon that was like $14 and super stretchy with the same pair of leggings that had like holes in the crotch. And I was like, everyone's better than me. You know, everyone's better at this. Not better than me, but like better at dressing themselves, and their bodies are not different than mine. And so I started looking at the racks, and it took a while for me to adjust to think I can wear something like this, you know, because I had a few like cool vintage pieces that I collected over the years, but for the most part, my wardrobe was basic, very basic.
Yeah.
Cardigans, a lot of waterfall cardigans, you know, and tank tops, camis, and leggings, and that was it. And now I'm just like with a Plus Bus, you know, I'm definitely a friend of the Plus Bus. I'm on their Patreon. I'm in there all the time when it's safe. Jen and I are super close friends. Jen actually helped me develop the robes. She's the co-owner of the Plus Bus. And so, you know, me and the Plus Bus are like that. And my style, I finally have a style, which is amazing. Marcy's there. Yes, I know. I love the Plus Bus. I mean, I would not be anywhere near who I am or where I am today without what I've learned at the Plus Bus. And really just like, I didn't think I could ever have a style. Like I'm not going to wear that, even though it fits me. It's not what I would wear. I'm going to wear that. It fits me and it is what I want to wear. And I've never been able to like dress. I mean, it's such a basic thing that wasn't accessible.
While we're talking about for a second there, Marcy's Patreon for Plus Fest, I would say Marcy, will you share your Patreon? Because I didn't even know you guys had one. And then if others here have a Patreon, since we have lots of other amazing fatties here, maybe there's some people that might want to be your patrons. So if you want to share your Patreon or whatever, however people help you out financially.
Yeah, the Plus Bus has amazing benefits for people who support their Patreon as well.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Discounts and special events and early access to like special wardrobes and stuff like that. And I've gotten to snag things before anyone else got to see them, just, you know, feels special. And it's fantastic. And, you know, Marcy and Jen really know how to treat a fat babe. They really know how to make you feel special.
That's awesome.
Well, I just want to take a second. Am I double talking?
You're fine.
Marina, when we needed it the most, gave us a $10,000 loan, which we have paid back in full.
So fast. But, you guys paid it back so fast.
Your belief in us, I had no idea that you had not been to a plus size fashion event since, like, I remember I was like, we've never met. And you were like, yes, we have. So it's just.
I looked very different. I looked very different when you met me.
Incredible to me, and what you're already contributing and will continue to do, and your belief in us, and the fact that you had the belief in us to loan us that money during the pandemic that really got us through a time is just like incredible. So I thank you, and I'm so excited for Peridot, and I have all sorts of ideas that I don't know if Jen already told you about, but I love what you're doing, and I was very happy to buy my robe full price, and I love it very, very much. So
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Marcy. I mean, that's community, that's what's really been powerful about all this is finding community.
Amazing.
And another thing that you kind of touched on earlier is that you want you know, not one or two plus size jewelry lines, but like 20 of them.
Yeah.
And before I released my robes, when all of my money had gone into developing them, but I hadn't sold a single one yet. So there's that quiet time where all of your accounts are at zero, and you're terrified that no one's going to buy a single thing and you're going to be out in the cold, you know. When that was going on, I got a message from Gabby Fresh, who's a Facebook friend of mine. And she said, Marina, I love you so much. And, you know, you just made this announcement about the robes. And I wanted to be upfront with you about the fact that I'm releasing a line of robes around the holiday season this year. And my blood ran cold because she's so much more famous than I am. She has so much more money than I do. She's more stylish than I am by like a million, you know. And I was just like, oh my God, like it came at the worst time. Immediately started crying, immediately started panicking. Oh my God. And then I talked to Jen, and Jen was like, Marina, you can't be looking at what other people are doing. You do the best at what you do, and that's going to resonate with people, or it's not. And you know and I talked to Gabby a little bit further about what she was doing. She wasn't going up above a size 24.
I was gonna say, I've known Gabby Fresh for a long time. I didn't even know she had robes, so that's probably why.
I don't think she ended up releasing them. I think they were all going to be kind of sheer, flirty lingerie kind of robes, as opposed to like comfy robes. And what I learned, you know, I'm good friends with Claire, who runs Copper Union, who's a fantastic plus size line, very, very similar to me in that ethically, sustainably produced, owned by a fat femme, you know, and doing really cute, colorful, you know, well-fitting things. And one of the phrases that I keep in mind all the time, community, not competition. You know, I'm here for everybody to have those options. You know, I'm not going to make every kind of robe that's ever existed or will ever exist. And I wouldn't want to anyways. If somebody else wants to come along and make better plus size robes or different plus size robes than I do, I'm happy for us to have that, you know, and it's not a threat to me. And that's beautiful, you know.
And honestly, competition makes you better. And there's enough for everybody. There's 700 billion people on this planet. There's enough for all of us. There's no reason to go into that anything with a scarcity mindset, because there's plenty for all of us.
That's right. Give abundance, get abundance. And then I'm not a real woo-woo kind of person,
Me neither. No woo here.
But these rules in the universe exist. You know, if you I'm very generous with everybody who works with us. You know, and because I have to believe you treat people right, even our customers, you get incense, you get a tote bag, you get very fast shipping for free. Everything's included in that. We make the best robes we possibly can. We're not cutting any corners, you know, and at the end of the day, that means I'm not making as much money, but it also means that people feel cared for in a way that they've been discarded their entire lives as fat people, you know, and I know that because I've been through that.
Yeah. Someone's just saying they have to leave. No problem.
Meredith has to go.
Murph,
hi, Meredith. Thanks for joining us.
Murph and I are going to start a podcast. We're going to call it The Big Sexy, and we're going to talk about sex and sex toys and all.
Ooh, I love that. I have my two favorite sex things. One of them came from your shop.
Yeah.
I love the plus size doggy strap. Oh my God.
Yes, I'm sure you'll be a guest often, Marina.
Yeah, I'll come on and talk whatever you want. The plus size thing, there's another one that goes like around the neck and holds up your feet.
Holds your legs up in the air. Yeah.
I've gotten that repaired at my dry cleaners twice because it's ripped. And I keep going in there like, reinforce it. We need reinforcements. Because I love that thing.
So currently you're going up to size 40, right? Or just right away up the rack, size 40.
Yeah.
You can also you can go higher if you have a client that wants it a little bit larger, right?
Absolutely. I haven't been asked to do that by anyone. I did send a robe to someone for free, and it didn't end up fitting them right. But I think it was that fabric in particular didn't have enough stretch to it, and they would have been fine with a different fabric that had a little more stretch to it. So they kind of stopped communicating with me because they're going through their own thing, and I'm just like, I'm here whenever you want to talk about it. That's kind of perfect, you know, but I can't force people to do that. So, but yeah, there's I'll make a robe for anybody, and not below a size 14 though.
Yeah, they can buy robes.
Only on the other end.
They could buy robes at Safeway. I mean, there's stuff everywhere for them. So
yeah, exactly.
You don't have to worry about them. They're covered.
They're fine. Yeah. You'll be fine.
So, because was this robe that I have, this denim, whatever it is, that's so lovely. This was like just a small run, right?
Yeah, so all of our fabric that we use is fabric remnants. So it's left over from other clothing lines, or it's or it never got used, or never sold, or whatever, didn't hit the shipment mark on time, or whatever. And this company called Rag Finders goes and buys all these fabrics, and there's a big warehouse in downtown LA, and you go in there, and it's the fabric wonderland. And you never know if they're going to have 250 yards of something, or if they're going to have 23 yards of something. And you never know what you're going to find. So I love it there. It's magical because you go in there and it's just like, you can imagine anything. This lounge dress that I'm wearing, I'm going to show it off because we got this coming up. Although I have the only one that's sleeveless. I had them pop the sleeves off because this was a sample. And look at it. So this is an Italian double knit fabric. These polka dots that you see on this are sewn into the fabric. They're not printed. It's actually embroidered into it. So each one of these is little black threads that have been sewn into it. And it's so nice. It's got a little bit of, it's got a little bit of stretch to it, but it's not stretchy. There's no rayon or spandex in it whatsoever. It's cotton, and it's beautiful cream color. But like these kinds of luxury fabrics, I've never owned anything in my size that had this quality. And it feels amazing. Like I went there, the guy showed it to me, and I was just like, I could be on Lake Como and a yacht in that fabric. Like it feels like money, and I'm into it. And I'm just like, I've suddenly just gotten to reimagine myself, and all the stuff. And it's a lounge dress. It's pajamas, but I'm not letting that stop me, Right. Also, I bleed all the time, and I eat spaghetti sauce constantly. I'm not going to be afraid of staining it.
I love it. Yes. I think,
but we only have 33 of these because they didn't have a lot of the fabric.
You're right though, because if you're buying fast fashion, which we're all forced to, basically, if you buy stuff from Torrid, it's not luxury. It's like, I don't know, like
it's the same shit jerseys over and over and over again because they have good stretch to them, and they will literally cover your body. But it's not nice, you're not going to own it in 10 years. You're not going to pass it on to someone. I'm sure Marcy can tell you at the Plus, sometimes they have like fast fashion that comes in that's cool, but it's not going to last. They know it's not going to last. It's good that they're giving it a second life to go on to someone else's home. But you can, when you're there and you're groping on all the fabrics, you get a feel for what's really good. We just had this cotton slub that had this texture to it, and I was like, I've never owned anything with a texture to it. I've never had access to that. We had this chunky rib knit, and I was like, I've never had anything that was like this before. And that's really fantastic. And one of the other things is like the manufacturing process of making it luxury as well. Like these are polka dots. And one thing about cutting the fabric for a polka dot is it's got to line up with the other polka dots. Otherwise it looks off, when you turn and you see me from the side, or you see the seam in the back and it's not lined up, it looks weird.
Yeah.
And so it costs an extra $8 to cut it so those dots line up. And Jen was like, do you want to spend an extra $8 per garment to make sure that the dots line up? And I was like, I guess I do. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to get this amazing fabric and make a dress and then cheap out at the last minute and not spend the extra $8 to make someone look fantastic in it, Yeah. And she's like, that's the difference between a Nordstrom's dress and a Marshall's dress.
Right. Totally. Hey, Tigress, I would love for you to say what you just said in chat to everybody live.
Yeah, how do you scroll up on the chats?
I don't. You can. It's just on the right side. There she is.
Yeah, this is not my usual on camera, lighting and stuff. But I mean, basically what I said was like, I I watch people get mad at Marina for not making undersize 14, and I just think about how like there are all these other companies that only make exclusively plus clothes, but because they make ugly ass plus clothes, nobody's mad about it. The little people are not over here up in arms about how it's reverse discrimination
They can be
don't
mad.
get to wear your.
I literally can't hear them. I don't care. It's the buzzing of bees in the background. It's just
and I love and I love that. And I think that commitment to plus size community is one of the things that, like, when you're thinking about competition, as it may be, that, you know, one thing that you have that a lot of people who are financially invested in this community, but not community invested in this community, one thing that you have that they don't is that investment, that actual connection, that actual commitment to, you know, to sort of like the broader representation and access issues, not just like, you know, I see that there's a marketplace there, you know? And so people can feel that coming off of you, Marina. And that's one of the reasons that, you know, that people want to support your businesses. It's the quality of the product, but it's also the quality of the connection to community. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you so much. I had a lot of people tell me I was crazy before I released the robes. A lot of people who are like, who's going to want that? Nobody's going to want to pay for a robe. Robes are for old people, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And you can't listen to other people. They don't see what you see. They don't experience what you experience. I know what I need. You know, I can't possibly be the only person who wants it. And I just had to have faith that, you know, and honestly, I thought I released in May. I thought I'd release in May and then restock in September before, you know, the fall and winter seasons. And I would have one release, you know, in the year. I sold out in the first weekend. And I released on Friday. Monday morning, I was at Rag Finders buying more fabric because I was like, I had a waiting list of 700 people, you know, who were like, I wanted this my whole life. And I was just like, some of my very closest friends told me, don't do this, Marina. Don't put your money in this. You know, this is going to fail. People don't want this. What the hell does peridot mean? You know, and tell me all these things that I was doing wrong. And I just don't, I mean, I've had people judging me for my life choices my whole life. You know, Marina, you can't have a husband and a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Yeah, I can. Thanks for your opinion though. You know, Marina, you can't do that. I can do whatever I can do, you know. I tell me what I can't do.
No. Grown-ass woman here. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And it's been fantastic. Now we're in January of next year, I think. So that means we've been around for 7 months and I've done 6 releases in 7 months because people need it, people want it, you know, and people are now getting multiple robes, which I was like, really? Wow. Okay. We have people who wear exclusively peridot now. We have a client in Japan who has 12 of our robes and every single one of our loungers, and she exclusively wears peridot now. She won't wear anything else.
Well, some of them have that kind of kimono look that you can wear out, I think, right? Totally.
Yeah, well, denim I've worn to the dog park. People wear it to run errands all the time. It looks like a wrap dress for sure. I'm not sure all of our robes look like outdoor clothing, but also who's going to tell you shit? Like, I don't know about everybody else. I know that people deal with fatphobic things in public. I don't. I think it's because I'm 6 feet tall and I look dangerous. Nobody ever fat shames me to my face. Family members do, but like nobody else does. And I mean, no one's going to say shit to me. I wear whatever I wear. And they're just like, okay, she's wearing a bathrobe at the dog park. All right, we're just not going to say anything. And I lean on that, you know, and even if they did say something, it's not going to ruin what I'm doing. You know, I'm comfortable. I'm at the dog park. I was going to throw this thing in the wash this afternoon anyway. So let's do it.
My big thing nowadays, when somebody fat shames me in public, I'll yell very loudly, "Did you just fat shame me?"
Oh, really?
But loud. I mean, really loud. So it like
really loud. I'm just really loud all the time. I'll turn. What did that person say? Were they talking to me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think I seem like that type of person, so I don't tend to get that. I can't recall a single time I've ever really been fat shamed in public.
And you'd have a meaner face, and you'd be like,
yeah, I think I look like I will beat the shit out of someone. And I'm glad I'm giving off that vibe because I will. I absolutely will. I have lawyer money. Don't worry about it. You know?
I love it. Yes. Yeah. So what's next for Peridot?
Oh my gosh, I have so much stuff coming up this year. So our robes they're on sale right now for $30 off, but generally speaking, they're $190. And so I started thinking I need a way for people to be able to support us if they don't have $200 laying around extra. So I released the lounge dresses a couple, I think in early November, and they were such a huge hit. And people were like, more of these, way more of these. So some with sleeves, some with things. So I'm releasing the same lounger dress like this with 3/4 sleeves.
Yeah.
And then I'm also have a new design of the lounger dress that's kind of more cap sleeves, has different style pockets, and it's a scoop neck instead of a V-neck. And that's going to be coming in gorgeous colors. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. We have like an avocado green and a teal and a cranberry and a gold, and it's just stunning. And I love that design so much. And then I'm also coming out with some non-clothing items. I have one of the things, I get just as many comments on our incense as I do on our robes.
Yes, it's wonderful.
People love our incense, and it's a
really
scent
nice.
that I designed for the robes. It's kind of a cedar lavender scent that I just felt was like not too floral, not too woodsy. I want it to not feel feminine. I'm non-binary, even though I go by she, her, they, them pronouns. And so I don't like gendered things for the most part. So I made the scent, and so we're going to be releasing that scent as a fragrance oil. And then we're also releasing another scent that I've recently designed, and that's going to be coming in both an incense and a fragrance oil as well. And I also have custom Peridot tote bags that are coming out this summer that are huge. Like they can fit a 10-year-old in there. And I know because I put a 10-year-old in one. So they're like massive bags. And that comes from me being disabled, and like little grocery tote bags are never big enough. And so I wanted something, people love our logo so much. So I'm going to put our logo on them, and we're getting them made from Remnants Fabrics. So it's going to be all ethical and sustainably made. They're not going to be crazy expensive. I don't know how much they're going to be yet, but they're huge like IKEA bags. Yeah. Huge like IKEA bags. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Are the people
there you are.
The leaf blowers going on right now. I was saying, who did your logo? We should give them a shout out. It's beautiful.
Jen did the logo. And it's based on the arched window that used to be at my house, the house that I sold in order to be able to make the robes.
Right.
I invested and worked on this house for like 9 years.
Beautiful.
And I was like, I want to be able to make these robes. I don't have the money for it. So I sold my house and moved into an apartment in order to afford the line. So the arched logo is a shout out to my beloved house that was filled with magic and very fat friendly. We even had fat butt toilet seats. So toilet seats that were rated up to 1,200 pounds, and all the furniture was like fat friendly. The guest bed was a king size. It was the most fat magical house ever. We threw tons of fat parties, fat dinners, fat guests. I think our house was shot for Adipositivity more than any other location. 1 year, the calendar, like 7 months of the Adipositivity calendar were shot in my house. Because Kim, Substantia Jones used to always come stay at our place and shoot people there. It's just easier to invite people over to do it. So yeah, my beloved house is gone and sold, and looks like a hipster colonics clinic now. They redid the whole thing. It's got no charm anymore. Yeah, you took that fat magic out of it, and that's all right. Things move on. And so yeah, that's where the logo came from. Jen did an amazing job. There's really not much Jen can't do. She's incredibly creative. She's a lot of personality. Personally, I love it. She's a Taurus. She is a bull in every china shop. But she's I said a colonics clinic. It's so sleek. It's so sleek. It was never sleek with me. It was like Marcy said he asked her to make our logo. Jen really does the work. She does the work, but you got to pay her for it. If she's not making money, she's not there for it. And we're close friends, and I got to pay her for every lunch meeting we have. So, which is good. Get that money, you know. But yeah, so we got tote bags coming out. Also, one thing that I've missed as a plus size person, when we're talking about things that smaller size people have that we don't have, is oversized t-shirts. Just to throw on to go to the beach or something like that was never something I had. I could barely find a t-shirt that would fit me, period, much less be oversized for me to look cute like that. And so this summer, I'm going to be releasing a t-shirt dress, basically, like an oversized t-shirt dress for sleeping, like a sleep dress for that. So, because we just don't have t-shirts, like there's no t-shirts that fit me, you know? And I think you're muted again, sweetie.
The leaf blower is going really hard right now. But can I get one that's off the shoulder?
A little bit, yeah. Oh, absolutely. The lounge dresses that I have coming, the black waffle lounger, that fabric is totally, it can be off the shoulder, no problem. It's so stretchy. And that's one thing I really wanted was like, you know, people are top heavy or bottom heavy, or they have bigger arms or something like that. And, you know, sometimes I don't want every fabric I own to be stretchy, but sometimes it just fits better. You know, it just fits better if I can size down and it'll still fit my hips, but it'll accommodate a smaller chest or something like that. And I get a lot of feedback on our fit for the robes all the time. And people are like, you know, I have a B cup breasts, but you know, I'm size 30 on the bottom. And, you know, what do you have that'll fit me? And I get to say to them, our bottoms will fit you no matter what size you order. You know, if you're a size 30 on the bottom and you want to size down to a size 2, it'll still fit you. It will, because we have that coverage in the skirt. We added 10 to 14 extra inches around the bottom half so that nobody will ever have any flashing or gaping if they don't want it to be. Now, I do flash with that robe, but it takes a little work. You got to work it open. But yeah, so, you know, I want us to have it all. I really want us to have everything, you know.
Yep, like we said earlier, we deserve it all. Hey, Ashley, could you please share Marina's website again and maybe her Instagram? And then if you could find that video that we did of her and I talking earlier in the year.
That was such a great chat.
Yeah, it was fun.
It really kind of went off the rails. I watched it afterwards and I was like, wow.
Hey, it's YouTube.
Okay, I guess we're public with that information now. Not that I'm a very discreet person anyways. No one ever tells me secrets.
My life's an open book. You know, what do I have to hide?
It is. I mean, this is part of being the visibility that's so important, you know. I just feel like one of the things that I think fuels a lot of fat phobia, especially from people who know us a little better, not what we face in the general public, but from people that we're a little more intimate with. I have an aunt who I have a long history of both loving her and dealing with a lot of fat phobia from her. And I think what fuels it is that she's battled an eating disorder her entire life. And she works so hard not to look like me. And to see me being loved and having fun and enjoying myself and feeling beautiful goes against everything she's told herself she wouldn't deserve if she was my size. So she spews a lot of that towards me, and it doesn't really affect me. I'm just like, oh, that's sad for you.
That internalized fat phobia that's crazy shit.
It's a hell of a monster. I've never dieted before in my life. I followed a very different journey than a lot of fat people. Because I've never, I think because I just had such a rough childhood anyways, I was just trying to survive so many other things that my size was just like the last thing I was worried about. Right. And I was also a sex worker for a really long time. So because of that, I was celebrated for my size. Like people were like, you know, I used to, like, when I was in my 20s, post on Craigslist and I'd get 2,000 responses, you know, to people loving me for my size. So it never occurred to me to not love my size. But other people in a different path. Not everybody can be a sex worker for their entire 20s, you know?
Yeah.
But I recommend it if you want to. But you know, but I think I've just followed different paths. I also didn't have a lot of friends my size or my age. All my friends were much older than I was, and they were very comfortable with themselves, and they didn't give a shit. And I never hung out with people my age when I was in my 20s. All my friends were in their 50s and 60s. So by the time I popped my head out and was like, wait a second, you guys have been dieting this whole time? Why? You know, you guys are doing sweaty yoga. Why? You know, just like so many things that just sound so miserable to me. I was like, so that's just like what you do? You don't just do whatever you want all the time? You know, I'm very like, I guess, instant gratification. I enjoy every moment of every day.
You got to be you. That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's made up a word. Awesome. Yeah,
awesome.
No. Yeah, you got to be authentic to yourself. And I'm pro ho. And I think we need a t-shirt that says pro fat ho.
Yes, pro fat hoes. The market is a lot bigger for that now than it was when I was doing it. There was not a lot of girls in LA who were indie, you know, fat girls doing that. And, you know, I had a very comfortable apartment and I lived by myself, and I was just like, you know, this is going to like pay my rent in one day. So in the rest of the month, I can do whatever I want. And that sounded really good to me. Still sounds good to me.
It does. Thank you so much, Marina. It's always so fun talking with you. And
absolutely. Thank you so much for organizing this event. And thank you everyone for staying home and tuning into this. And
yeah, take advantage of your sale too.
Yes, absolutely. Still going on till Sunday. I'm also going to be doing a sample sale when I get back to LA and I take inventory. I have a lot of miscellaneous robes that were used for photo shoots, or you know, we had small repairs done to them or something like that. They're less than brand new. And I'm going to be selling those for a very deep discount for people who, you know, can't even afford the 160 is a stretch for them. So these will be available to them. I would also like to say that if you're super fat, infinifat, you know, severely disabled, or, you know, you're going through a really rough time, we do give free robes to people who write to me and ask for it. I would like to say that this holiday season, I actually gave away free robes, almost as many as I sold. You know, and all you have to do is write to me and say, hey, things are really tough for me. I don't need the whole story. You don't need to like bleed for me, but, you know, this is about accessibility for me, and I want that for everybody. So, you know, it is a luxurious thing, but you shouldn't have to be in a luxurious position in your life to have it.
Yeah. And I could tell they're going to hold up forever.
Forever. Yeah, they really are.
Yes, I love it.
They really are.
And it has pockets.
And it has pockets forever. All our lounge dresses have pockets, you know, and yeah, I love them. I love them so much. I love these robes so much.
I was going to say a minute ago that if you have never been out in public with a bunch of fat people, it's the most powerful, amazing, beautiful feeling. And we're so lucky here in the Bay Area where I live, because we have a really vibrant and, you know, big fat community.
Oh my gosh,
not the last 2 years we haven't done shit, but before that, you know, it's so fun and powerful. And it's so, I love when everybody starts looking, you know, and then they're like, and they're eating food, and we're like, we're eating it. Like, it's so, to me, I just want to be like, haha.
Yeah. You know, I date a lot of fat people, and I always feel like that when I'm on a date. Like, every single fat person that I'm on a date with, we become the fat power couple. Yeah. We walk down the street, and it is like, we are hitting every stride. It's so good. We go to restaurants, 24 oysters, cocktails. We're doing it all, you know.
Right, yeah.
And it's a fabulous way to live. I mean, I think being fat is already a form of liberation, just existing, you know, and it's a really fantastic thing. And I'd always take it one step further. I'm actually a fat supremacist. I identify as a fat supremacist because we're just better. We're more likely to survive traumatic injuries. We're hot as hell. Like, you like titties? I got 10 times the titties that other people got, you know, not 10.
Mercy, there's no t-shirt. That's,
you know, and And it's true. I mean, like it's a beautiful thing. And if you're not feeling that, you need to immerse yourself more in fat culture, fat influencers, you know, follow fat
Very
celebrities and empowered people. You know, my one of my godchildren has been going through an eating disorder the last couple of years. And I told her, I was like, I'm scrolling through her Instagram feed and I'm like, honey, no wonder you feel like shit about yourself.
Yeah.
None of these people look like you. Like, let's get you some fat influencers who are stylish, who, you know, and it really changed her outlook on it a
It
lot.
helps.
And she felt so much better about it.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's important for both the young people and the old people. I wish this liberation for everybody, you know.
Yeah. That's a good note to everybody. Clean up your feed. I'm sure you all have, but get those ankles out of your feed. It just
Oh my
gets into your
gosh.
brain.
I block them. I block them from the Peridot site all the time. Like I just, you know, I don't want them. There's one lady who was kind of a small fat, but she was running like diet boot camps and she wanted to order a whole bunch of my robes for her diet boot camp. And I was like, the fuck you will. No.
No.
Why on earth would you do that? Go away, you know.
So again, it's Peridot Robes, Peridot, right?
Yes.
Robes.com.
Yeah.
And Marina, you can find Marina everywhere on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, I'm sure.
I never
everywhere.
shut up. It's true.
She's very also very she's accessible to you. And I think if you have questions or whatever. Thank you, Ashley. So
I definitely want to be doing more of myself on the Peridot Instagram in the new year. I recorded a video last week and I was terrified to do it. And after it was done, I was like, I look good. I feel good. I feel great about everything I said. I should do this more often. So I'm going to do that more often because a lot of my favorite brands do that. You always see Jen and Marcy at the Plus Bus. You always see Claire Duty on, you know, Copper Union. You know, you see, so many brands that I admire so much. The Body Love girls are always out there, you know, and you know who they are. And I think that's important to show who's behind this. You know, I'm one of us, you know. You guys could all be having your own fat lines in a couple of years.
I'm heartened to hear you say that because I know you're a little bit video shy, but you're so telegenic and you're so very just so personable. And I think, I'm happy to hear you're going to be doing more of that. And the world needs more. Everybody needs a friend like Marina in their corner because she will hurt somebody if they hurt you. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I absolutely will. I won't think twice about it. And people that deserve to get hurt. So, so yeah, I appreciate this event so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, I'm looking forward. Who's next?
Deb's up next, but let's take a little break. So if anybody needs to get a water, bio break, whatever you need to do. I'm gonna mute my stuff for a few minutes. I'll be right back. And I saw that Pia might have joined us a little bit ago, so I'm excited to have Pia here too. I'm hoping.
Oh, I know of Pia. I've never met Pia yet, but I know of her. She's suggested on my Facebook friends all the time.
Her style is amazing too. She's like, whoa.
Yes, I see that. Oh my gosh, so cute.
So yeah, hopefully next time we'll get Pia to speak, and I'll be right back. And I think that's it. I'll give you like 2 minutes.
Okay, it's good to see you. Thank you.
You too.
Marina, I just want to say, like, as a former fashion person, it's always so impressive when somebody starts a line. It's so hard. It's so much work. So I've been watching your whole journey, and I'm so excited for you, and I'm excited for everybody who gets to experience like a product.
The climate for it is so different.
Yeah,
the climate for it is so different now than it was a couple of years ago. Even the lines have so much more visibility and so many more avenues for marketing and sales and connecting with people. And I feel so terrible for some of my favorite lines that have gone under over the years. That I think if they were out now, it would be a very different thing for them.
Yeah. It was fun when I was doing Redress and we did like our indie fashion show and tried to try to highlight independent designers, and it was just so hard to make a line that sustains the maker as well as the people buying the item. So I love the like thoughtfulness and care that you are putting into this whole process. I know how I can just watch and I'm like, oh, I know how hard that is. to do.
It is. It's really hard. I have not added up my numbers to figure out if I'm making any money or not. I don't know. I kind of am blind to it because you know, my household is double income. So, you know, as long as I'm not sucking off of the other income, I should be okay. But it's a labor of love. I have the privilege of being able to do that. And so I want to do that for the people I love most in the world and the people who I think need it the most. So, I guess tax time will figure that all out.
Yeah. I feel like they should give you money as a community service. Like
I think so too.
Like they should just be like, you don't know any taxes. Because I know what it's like to run a labor of love that didn't make any money. Like,
it really does.
love
Yeah,
all
I
of
don't
those
think it.
things.
I don't think it does make any money, but that's so. I mean, if I'm in the position of being able to not make any money, I want to be able to do that. You know, with this, I mean, it makes me so happy. You know, the joy that it brings me to get the happiness from people, to see the robes fit them, to make them feel seen and loved and valued and stuff like that. And just answering, I'm the customer service person, and like all the emails that come in, all the questions that are asked, I love answering those things. And I get personal. I mean, I'm stoned off my ass most nights, and I get very chatty when I'm stoned, and I'm just like, oh, I was just crying because my dog died. What's up? You know, just like, you know, I get very intimate with it, but it's cool. I mean, you know, we're all here to share, and I'm sure I'm not doing it right, but you know, I'm doing it like I do. So I'm looking forward to 2022 and seeing what comes next and expanding what we're doing and all that kind of stuff. So we'll figure it out, you know. And I know that one thing Jen Wilder at the Plus Buzz, she's horrified by putting any kind of personal stuff into your business place. She's like, you can't tell people that. And I was like, why? I'm on my period. It sucks. I won't talk about it, you know? And she's just like, oh, people don't want to hear that. And I'm like, no, Marcy doesn't want to hear that. But yeah, I love it. You know, it's a personal journey for me too, and I'm figuring it out. And I think people, you know, people have a lot of patience with me as I'm pretty new to all of this, you know, but I care enough to try to figure it out. And you look fabulous. This is orange. Is it orange, or is it just coming through orange on your sweater, Deb?
Oh yeah, it's like a mustardy. It depends.
I love it.
Color.
Anything with texture.
Yeah.
It looks so fuzzy.
I will say, yeah, I bought it from some fast fashion thing, but it's indestructible. So I think I'm gonna wear it for like 20 years. So
that's what matters. I mean, until we have all the options.
Make sure that it's like, yeah, it's really actually, I mean, coming from like, I got most of my clothes, you know, from Redress. And now that's like a decade ago. But for a while, it was so satisfying to get clothing secondhand and like not have to think about that kind of like where the clothes come from and like what kind of environmental impacts there are. I actually do try to shop a lot on like Poshmark and things like that. Because those just really meets my values. But like, you know, then it's like a treasure hunt. Or the Plus Bus, if I was in.
The Plus Bus is fantastic. Oh my gosh, I found so many great things. I guess I could
order online and they'll ship it to me.
And Plus Brooklyn too is fantastic. They do story sales every single day. And another fat. I mean, the thing is, being owned by a fat femme really makes a huge difference, you know, because nobody knows it like we know it. So yeah, I'm so, and also as far as we were talking earlier about mask leaning clothing, I'm actually looking into doing a menswear line as well. Jen refuses to do it with me, so I have to find a new Jen to do it with. But I'm very interested in making, you know, our beefy boys look good, and also non-binary people have things that are gender affirming for them.
Yeah, I mean, if we think we have it bad in the fashion world.
Oh man, cargo shorts as far as the eye can see. My God, I can't imagine. We deserve better. When you see a bigger guy dressed well, I mean, I'm barely into men at this point, to be honest. But you notice it's hot. It takes over the whole room, you know. And I'd like to see more of that. So.
Yeah, they can be a little disappointing sometimes. But yeah, I love them still, some of them. I try to train. I was gonna say
I might
too,
need
Marina,
to leave. I might need to leave the chat pretty
No
soon.
problem.
Actually, I have
Marina,
to.
do you know about Deb's history, her fashion history?
Yes, redress, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. I wasn't aware of it when it was going on, but I've learned about it afterwards. There's a lot of lines, you know, and events and stuff like that that I've learned about since then. I'm just like, man, what was I doing during this time? I'm someone that wasn't reached. You know, I'm a plus size person who would have been a customer, and I wasn't reached by it because I didn't have the community, I didn't have the influencers, I didn't have people telling me it existed. And what a shame. You know, what a shame for everybody involved. I could have released that. It's one thing that Brianne Lindsay of the Huntswoman, blogger, she's a marketing genius, and she said to me, she was like, your aversion to marketing, because I don't like selling to people. I really don't. If they can't afford it, I don't want them to try to afford it. You know, if it's not comfortable for them to do it, don't do it. Because I'm all about financial literacy too. And she said to me, she was like, you know, as much as you love it and all those people that are so happy to have it, there's so many people that don't know about it. And if you don't market, they'll never find out, and you're cheating them out of it. And I was like, right, that's true. You know.
Thanks, Marina. Thank you for everything. And